Hi Mauro, this is Oliver. Just a couple of tips that may help you when trying to fix the normals in this. First, when you save an OBJ from Lightwave, it writes for every surface a vertex normal map. That thing you see here. So that the smoothing in the OBJ looks like the thing you've been working on while in Lightwave. But when you load it back and you want to edit it, you have to get rid of it, otherwise you won't be able to change anything about the normals. If I select none here, you'll see that the normals change, and this is like controlled, when it's set on, it's controlled by the vertex normal map, and when it's not, it's Lightwave controlling the surfaces. So I get rid of all the vertex normal maps in all the surfaces when I want to edit the normals, make sure the object looks the way I want, and then export it in OBJ, and it'll look in P3D right just as it looks here. So when I don't want smoothing between two series of polys, I can, for example, select the series of polys I don't want to smooth with, let's say this side, cut it and paste it again. So now it's not smoothing between this and this, but if I merge points along this, it'll smooth this way, and if I merge points here, it'll also smooth along this way. When you export that to OBJ, the points will be merged, but the breaking, the smoothing will be stored in the vertex normal map, and that's what we want. So it's going to look nicer. What I did with this object was I created a few more loops with bandsaw. I generally, when an object already has a UV made, I only work with bandsaw and add edges, because those are the two poly subdivision tools that keep the original UV, that don't distort it. If I add an edge in with bandsaw here, it will also add it in the UV and it will look good. So I align these points, and I created like an extra loop here with bandsaw. And well, it's making the loop in on the other side, so I can like change the side on that, or I can select the polys in the other direction, and it will add the loop here. I added a loop here to break the surface a little. I'll try to align these points here to make them look a little bit, more like some of the pictures that I just saw. I also got rid of this being part of the polys. I just took the polys that you made and put them a little bit in front of what was there, and I just set this to normal flat quads, because it was doing some really weird smoothing problems when when the objects, these logo polys were drilled into that. But remember, you can, everything that looks like a separate piece can be a separate piece. You don't have to like sew everything perfectly. Now I realize why it was you said it was being kind of difficult. Yeah, if you do it like that, it's like the longest way. Anyway, the object really looks cool, but I know those guys are going to talk about this problem, so I fixed them. Another thing that I fixed a little, that this really was about the shape, was here. This looks a little bit more like the shape of the real object. This is a little bit different, so I pulled the points to the front to make them look like that. Maybe you can mirror that, but I didn't want to like mess up the UV, so I think that if I just leave it the way it was and try not to mess the UV, it's better. So well, there's some points to move around, but but it can be fixed. Okay, so that was it.